Friday, February 14th, the day of love, and we certainly love that you have chosen us on the Sportsline Podcast here on the CHCH media platform. Thank you so much for all the outstanding feedback you've been sending us as it motivates the team to keep working hard for you. Today on the pod, a fine example that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. His rise to the top was somewhat unconventional compared to many others in the sport. With the option of Canadian junior hockey not at his disposal, Zach Hyman played provincial junior hockey here in Hamilton and parlayed that into an opportunity at the University of Michigan. As the 123rd pick of the 2010 NHL draft, many missed out on what turned out to be a sensational career that's still going. But folks, there's more to this story. Coming full circle as the current player is now the president and governor of the OHL's Brantford Bulldogs. So pleased to have Zach Hyman in on the Sportsline Podcast. I'll tell you, this is an outstanding moment and part of your career. It has to be.
Oh, it is, and thanks for having me on, Bubba. It's a real honor. It's something that's extremely exciting and something that my family and I have always looked for as an opportunity in the OHL, and for it to be Brantford, we're over the moon.
Over the moon. Before we get any, let's start right here. I'm happy that you're here. I'm really happy that you're here. But why are you not in Montreal right now with a Canadian jersey on your shirt right now? What's going on?
I mean, we're fortunate to be Canadians, and there are so many great Canadian hockey players. So you could probably make a whole team of guys who could have or should have been on the team.
It's outstanding hockey, is it not?
Oh, it's awesome, and excited for tomorrow's game.
That's going to be the big daddy. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about what your career is and where it started. And we talked about Hamilton, the Red Wings. First of all, before we even go there, why hockey?
You know what? It's something, for my earliest memory is hockey. Like, it's something that I've always been in love with, and my parents got my brothers and I into it early, and we had a passion for it. So it's as far as I can remember, I've always loved hockey.
And the Red Wings, where did that come about? How did that come about?
The Hamilton Red Wings? Mm-hmm. So my dad actually owned the Hamilton Red Wings, the junior A team, and my brother and I played together there from 16 to 19. I played there for 3 years, and it was one of the most fun times of my life, playing with my brother, developing as a person and as a player, and then getting prepared to go to college.
Did you think you were going to play pro at that level, at where you are right there? Were there any dreams of getting to the National Hockey League?
I actually got drafted out of that team, so that was kind of the start where it was like, whoa, you're drafted. I was drafted by Florida, 123rd overall. Never thought I would get drafted, and had the opportunity to be a draft pick, and that kind of was like, okay, now there's the first step.
Playing with your brother, who was better?
We were different players.
Yeah.
I was a goal scorer in junior, and my brother was a defenseman. He was a big, strong bruiser. He would beat me up probably. I probably scored a little more.
I was going to ask you that question. Was it Spencer giving you the business when you guys were younger?
We definitely got after it, but he was always my protector as we got older.
5 brothers, your poor mom.
Yeah, it was a busy house.
I'm sure it was. Okay, so the things move on in your career. University of Michigan, probably not the conventional route that a lot of Canadians take, but the NCAA has turned into a route that has been very available, and the quality of hockey at that level has really increased over the last decade or two.
Yeah, I really enjoyed my time. I think now it's a little bit easier for players to make a decision. When I was 16, you had to make a decision between the OHL and university, and I was somebody who needed a little bit more time. Now there's a rule change where you can actually do both. So kids who are in the OHL now can have the opportunity to go to college after in the States and get the best of both worlds. You
had, again, a lot of, as you said, an offensive kind of mindset when you're with Hamilton, and you do go over across the pond to wearing the Maison Bleu. But your first couple years might not have been what you expected to be, at least in terms of production. Where was your mindset at that point?
That's a great question. It was tested for sure. I think that was the first time in my hockey career where it was really tested. I had left Junior A as the Junior A Player of the Year, had all these accolades, and I thought I was going to go into college and pick up right where I left in junior and go out there and score a bunch of goals and be this high-flying prospect, and I hit a wall. It was really tough for me my first 2 years. I think I scored 2 goals my first year, 4 goals my second year, and really had to change my game and learn the defensive side of the game and block shots and do all the little things to make a team successful. And I think those years really helped shape me into the player I am now, and had given me more tools that when I was ready to make the jump to pro, I wasn't just a scorer. I was somebody who could play on the penalty kill, somebody who could play lower in the lineup, and they were the most important years of my career and life, probably.
Those are the years we're probably looking for mentorship. Was there someone in particular that gave you that shove or gave you that little pat on the back when you needed it?
Yeah, my dad was always there for me. He was someone who always told me that it's a marathon, not a sprint, and to believe in yourself and just have a positive attitude. And just outwork everybody. Just go there and control what you can control, and that was such an important message for me. And then obviously, coaching staff there. At times, I was frustrated with the coaching staff. Red Berenson was the coach, legendary coach for Michigan for a long time, and he just told me to continue to stick with it, and that you have 4 years to develop and don't rush. And I took my 4 years, took all 4 of them, and was able to make the jump to pro.
Small stint within the American Hockey League, Toronto Marlies, and then you get the call up. A Hamilton guy who played junior in hockey, born in Toronto, and he puts on the Maple Leaf jersey. I mean, I hear stories about it and people talk about it. Is it really what it's all cooked up to be?
You know what? At the time, it was surreal. I mean, I grew up a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. All my family were as well, and for me to have the opportunity to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs, first game in the NHL, with all my friends and family there, it was surreal. It was special, hard to put into words, and obviously had a pretty successful stint with Toronto, and was very fortunate to start my career at home.
I thought it was really interesting. I remember being in the media room at one time during a press conference after practice, and Mike Babcock at the time, he was just raving about you because I remember him saying you just did it right. You were a guy that was fearless going into the corners. You'd go to the net. You did all the dirty work. But at that time, even though you did have some stints with some of the big boys and the Nylanders who were also coming up, and Marner coming up, Austin Matthews with the big debut and all the things he did, this sort of young team that was growing, that was in last place at one point. Your role was a little different than it is now. What was it like again? So now you're a scorer again, but now you're not a scorer. You're playing on the third and fourth line. What was that like, even though you were loved by the coach?
Yeah, first and foremost, Mike Babcock was really great to me. He was somebody who was in my corner, gave me an opportunity in the NHL, and was really, the Toronto media at times can be tough, and for a young player who wasn't scoring at the time but was playing on a top line, he always had my back and defended me, and like I said, just was really great to me personally. And yeah, as a young player, it's not easy when you're in that role, and you can be doing things that really help the team win, but from the outside, people are always looking at statistics and whatnot, right? And I was out there grinding on those top 2 lines, going to the net and doing all the little things to try and help our team be successful.
Things happen to people, and sometimes you don't understand why. And I would like to believe that when you hit free agency, you probably wanted to stay with the Maple Leafs. You had a good experience. You were well respected in the room. Your coach liked you. Your fans, appreciated your hard work. Torontonians and Maple Leafs, like Adomi, they love hard workers. You end up in the province of Alberta with the Edmonton Oilers, but somehow, and I don't know if it's because, and you can explain to me, you turned into a different type of hockey player. What happened? What changed?
Yeah.
And you're scoring 50 goals one year, and they add in the postseason. It might have been 70 in total. Like, what happened? What was the metamorphosis into your style of game that you're playing right now?
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of things. Obviously, that question's a great question. I think we'll start with Toronto. I think when you become a unrestricted free agent, it's tough. I think we tried our best to make it work in Toronto. It didn't work, and from there we looked at other opportunities, and the only one that I really wanted to pursue was the Edmonton one, and the reason being is I thought that they had a similar young group that was hungry and looking to win a championship, and that was my mindset, is I want to win and to go to a team that has the best player in the world in Connor McDavid and arguably the second best player in the world in Leon Draisaitl. It was an opportunity that I really wanted to go to. And now talk about the personal side of things. I think every year when I was in Toronto, I tried to improve offensively and tried to improve my skill set and work on things that maybe I wasn't as good at early in my career. And every year I had more success scoring, and I thought that going to a team and playing with those guys, I could continue to develop and grow my offensive game. And obviously, I've said it before, but it was the best decision that I've ever made in my life to be able to have the opportunity to play with them in Edmonton, in a city that's one of the most passionate fan bases you'll ever imagine. Like the playoff run we just had, I've never been to in a louder building with fans that care as much as Edmonton fans do, and just incredible people. I'm growing my family there, amazing family town, so can't speak highly enough about Edmonton, the city, the team, the players, the fans. It was the best decision I've made, and I'm very happy.
I'm glad to hear that. I mean, because it sometimes ruins players, these kind of transitions, when you're in a comfortable place and then you got to go somewhere else. And as you said, you're in the midst of building your family as well, too. I mean, a lot of times in the media, we ask questions and we get sort of the stock answer of, don't stay too high, don't stay too low. I mean, now that it's over and you're starting again a new cycle, can you just describe that Stanley Cup run? Like it was, we always hear, back your own team. But here in Canada, we want the cup in this country so badly that the Oilers became Canada's team. Did you feel that? Did you feel that pressure?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I mean, I think it was obviously an amazing run. We fell one game short, and I felt like every round we had more support. And obviously, as more Canadian teams drop off, you become the last one standing. And I think, as you see with this Four Nations, Canadians band together and cheer for their country. And obviously the cup hasn't been in Canada for a long time, so definitely felt the support from the greater Canada.
I'm gonna have to do some kind of data work here on a database spreadsheet kind of thing. I don't know if there's anyone currently in the National Hockey League that has played with, I know you've named them, arguably the greatest player in the world in Draisaitl in terms of scoring, the complete player in Connor McDavid, and the reigning Rocket Richard Trophy winner in Austin Matthews. You're playing along those guys. You've assisted on goals and you've set them up. They've set you up. What's that like, playing with players of that level that is, generational? Like, what's it like?
It's awesome. I mean, it's fun, first and foremost, to have an opportunity to play with those guys. They're special players, each of them unique, each of them having their own special skill set that nobody else has. They can each do things with the puck, without the puck, that only they can do. So as a player, to have an opportunity to play with all four of them, you appreciate it, and you try to go get them the puck. Like that's been my role. And then when the puck comes to you, try to get open and put it in. And I think when my role has developed, and very fortunate to have had the opportunity to play with all of them.
Will be something that I'm sure you talk about maybe post-career. I mean, it's just an amazing thing. And as I said, I don't know if there's anyone that's played with all three of those players. It's amazing to think. And you can, as you said, add the likes of a Nylander and a Marner, who just scored one of the biggest goals in Canadian history just days ago. I think a lot of times in what you and your family have done in terms of moving on and purchasing an OHL team might have happened later in your career, but you're still in the midst of your career, young 30s. You are now the president and governor of the Brantford Bulldogs, a franchise that has done very well in, I think, a short space of time, has had outstanding ownership, and now, even though you're still playing, you're steering the ship of this amazing team in the Brantford area. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, to have the opportunity to be in charge of a team like the Bulldogs is pretty special. I think Spence touched on it in a bunch of interviews that he's done, but it's something. Pursuing an OHL team has been something that my family and I have looked at for a long time. Ever since Spence and I were kids, going to different rinks with my dad, the OHL was always kind of the next step for our family. And for us to have the opportunity to own a team like Brantford, the city's amazing, the fan base is incredible, the team's great. It's just a dream scenario for us, and we're thrilled with the opportunity we have.
What was this day like here where you got to skate with the players? And you have to admit, I mean, at some point in your career, you might have been in that position, seeing an NHLer on the ice with you, even at this level. And here you are speaking to them, and they're probably wide-eyed and all bushy-tailed.
You know what? Honestly, it was weird to be in a tracksuit. I was telling Spence after, I wish I brought my gear back, but I was afraid it would get lost in transit to skate, because it's more natural for me being a player, and that would have been fun. So maybe another time I'll bring my gear and skate with them. But to go out there and I guess I was more of a coach and give guidance and just joke around with them. They're phenomenal kids. They just want to learn. They want to get better. They want to get to the next level. And obviously, I'm in a unique position where I'm at that next level and can give them advice and guidance about my journey and other journeys that I've seen, because not everybody gets there in a different way. And just continue to work and continue to have a positive mindset and every day get better and give yourself the best opportunity to get to the next level.
Well, let me get a little deeper on that. I mean, you've had experience of playing at all levels of the game at this point now. What can you do to help develop players at the OHL level?
That's a phenomenal question. I think, obviously, with my experience, I've trained with so many different people. I know how important nutrition is. I know how important it is to take care of your body. I think at that age, when I was 16 to 20, I didn't have the knowledge I do now with regards to how to be a pro. So if I can help expedite that for them and give them the tools that I currently have at a younger age than I had it, you know, that generation can be better than I was. And I think that's the goal for me as I continue to get older. I want to play hockey as long as I can. It's the most fun job in the world, being a hockey player. But obviously at some point, father time catches up and you can no longer play, and I can really see one of my passions being helping that next generation get to the NHL and succeed, and the Bulldogs give me an outlet to do that, to help that next generation. And fortunate to start now while I'm still playing and while these guys still think I'm cool.
Yeah, you said young 30s. I think the best part if I was you, I would think the best part of all of this right now, what's going on in your career, is that this Bulldogs venture, it's not people that you're leaning on. Well, because I mean, you're playing, the seasons are, you know, they run in succession with each other. So there's a lot of responsibilities you have with the Edmonton Oilers, but the people that you're leaning on to run the franchise and do all the right things and make all the right moves, the draft is coming up. It's not just a couple of guys and women. It's your family. That's got to be just an added bonus.
Yeah, it's everything. It's part of the reason that I'm able to comfortably do this right now. Obviously, I live in Edmonton. I'll be afar. I'm not going to be in studio like I am today very often. This is a unique break. We don't get this every year. I'm not going to be able to go to a game like I am tonight. I'm excited to see all you fans there and be there tonight. And to have my brother and my dad there is everything. I mean, my brother and my dad talk every day. We talk before we own the team. We talked every day. Now that we own the team, we talk every day. Now we just have something more fun to talk about. Talk about how we can get better, how we can help this next generation get to the NHL, how we can help our players, how we can win a championship, how we can develop players for the NHL. Hockey's our passion, and the Bulldogs are now our passion.
The passion has got to be winning. And ever since you guys took over the team, this team was kind of muddling in 5th and 6th in the Eastern Conference. And now they're knocking on the door for top spot. They haven't stopped winning since you guys took over the team. Yeah,
you know what? It's pretty awesome. We've got a phenomenal coaching staff led by Jay McKee. We've got a phenomenal management team led by Matt Turek. And they've done just an incredible job in putting this team together. And we're really seeing the fruits of that. And the guys are really buying in, and it's fun to be a part of, and it's fun for me to lend my support in any way I can. And I've told all the players, you guys have my numbers. Please reach out with any questions. I'm happy to provide advice, and I'm here in the background watching.
Can we just take a short break here? We got to make just a little quick message here, folks.
Hi, I'm Zach Hyman, your new owner of the Brantford Bulldogs. My family and I are so thrilled to be helping kids in the community through the Bulldogs Foundation. Please consider supporting us for our Family Day 50-50 by buying a ticket at bulldogs5050.com. Go Dogs, go.
Monday, February 17th is the big day when the big prize will be awarded at the Brantford Bulldogs Family Day game when the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds check into the Madhouse on Market Street. 2 o'clock start, folks. You can get your 50-50 tickets online at bulldogs5050.com or just scan that QR code for your tickets. You know, your brother said something during the press conference when you guys took over the team, and it stuck with me. And I had to, when he was here sitting in your place here on the Sportsline Podcast, I had to remind him, and I want to get your perspective on it. And it's 3 words about why you guys did what you did and what you want to do in terms of spreading the love for OHL hockey in Brantford. Family, community, charity. We just talked about this 50-50. Just outstanding. It's got to mean a lot for you guys.
Oh, it does. I mean, those are 3 pillars of our life, and the team is an extension of all of our lives. It's our passion, like I said, and the Bulldogs mean so much to the city of Brantford. You can see it, you can feel it when you go there. And I think for us, it's important that we embed ourselves in the community and we embed the Bulldogs in the community, and that we give back to the community. And every year our players are going to be going out into the community and developing relationships with our fans and everybody who supports us. And those things are part of our life and part of the Bulldogs.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I mean, I think maybe you say those words, but sometimes I don't think you know or even know how much that means to that community, because that's a community that lost their junior hockey team, and there was some thought that that team was going to leave, and now there's a possibility that for the next 40 years, that team will be a foundation of that community.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason we bought this team, is our intention was always to keep it in Brantford. And I got to meet the mayor the other day, Mayor Davis, and he's a phenomenal human being. And him and all the councillors love the Bulldogs. They want the Bulldogs to be here long term. And I was so thrilled that we were able to figure out a solution to keep the Bulldogs here in Brantford for, like you said, up to 40 years and beyond. So the new arena that they're going to be building is going to be phenomenal. We're looking to making Brantford the destination for all young players that want to get better and want to develop and want to get to the next level.
I want to say congratulations to you and your family. I appreciate you coming here, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask one last thing that was a little weird to me, and you can explain to me. Can you explain to me what Shaq Hyman is? Who is Shaq? What is this all about?
Oh my gosh, isn't that wild? That spiraled. It was. If you told me that in high school that Shaquille O'Neal would be holding up a Hyman jersey and saying Shaq Hyman, I would have told you you're crazy. And I still think it's wild. Like, to this day, not many. He's a figure that I'm starstruck of. Obviously, is a guy that I watched growing up, and every NBA game I'll flip it on when it's in the halftime show and watch him, because he's just entertaining, him and Charles. But to have his support and have him behind the Oilers and have him saying, that's my guy, Shaq Hyman, like, it's pretty cool. Obviously, the nickname spurred from me scoring goals in the paint, and when I was in the Marlies, one of our assistants called me Shaq Hyman, and Sheldon Keefe, who's now in New Jersey, brought it up in the media, and media went crazy with it, and all of a sudden Shaquille O'Neal's holding my jersey, we're sending him a stick, and he's calling me Shaq Hyman. So just crazy.
I didn't even know the backstory, but I remember actually watching that NBA broadcast, and I'm like, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I know it's great when sports intersect like that too, but this is going real deep. And I mean, it wasn't a superstar player. It wasn't a McDavid or it's Zach Hyman, and here's Shaq, and what a beautiful moment. And something I'm sure you'll never forget.
No, it was awesome. He sent me the jersey. Obviously, I wore it for that Vancouver game, and wild time, and just surreal.
I won't soon forget meeting you, and I appreciate you coming here. Continue success with the Oilers. Go get that cup, baby. I'd love to see that kind of excitement. And again, for what you're doing and what your family are doing for the Brantford Bulldogs, the charity aspect of it, the keeping the team here, so exciting for a local sportscaster like myself to see what you guys have done. And we really appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate being on.
No problem. Hey, that's your Sportsline podcast for the day. And if you've just seen and heard, we love talking sports. If you do know of an athlete, team, or event to promote, the Sportsline podcast want to hear from you. Please hit that 5-star thumbs up, like, and subscribe button. And if you do have something to say, please comment. And a reminder, be sure to check out the other podcasts here on CHCH as your weekly news and sports wrap-up on Trending Now is on the way today. For the good people that make the Sportsline podcast possible, thank you so very much. And we'll see you next week.